See, I'm gonna pause for a second and say, like, there's... Okay, so, like, the reason I'm pausing is because I noticed the little text in the top left of the screen saying, like, oh, he felt this way or whatever, which is, like, I'm kind of split on my own opinions on that, because on one end, yeah, it's nice to know, like, exactly what they're saying and meaning, but at the other flip side of that is, like, it kind of detracts from having to figure that out yourself and be more involved in the story. So, I mean, it just kind of win some, lose some, really. I mean, I don't really have any strong feelings on one way or the other. It's just, it's a thing. I mean, it's a thing you can use as a tool to kind of help you guide what you're doing. Just like, you know, this thing showing the little guy with the arms crossed being like the tough one, and, you know, it's going to yell at you, or you're yelling at him, and then this is a sad option. Like, it's nice to know at least the emphasis and it's nice to know the emphasis and the, like, feeling and kind of method that you're going to be delivering these kind of lines and things, because, you know, the whole "it's worse than you think" could very much be a sad option, but, you know, it's supposed to be the strong kind of option, so we're gonna do that one. But also, I do keep getting up and moving a little bit because I have a little pillow for my back here, and it just helps to kind of readjust every so often. So
Varric, when we stopped the ritual, something else got out. Something even Solus is afraid of.
You've got this, Rook. World's not flooded with demons right now. Because you stopped Solus, not me.
Varric, even so, I need you to...
Rook, you've got this. I've seen your work. Like the unfortunate business involving a corrupt noble and that ancient evil. There's a reason I dragged you into this whole Solus mess. You're clever, adaptable, and you don't know when to quit.
Rook? You're awake. Sorry, I didn't mean to barge in. I was just looking for elf fruit.
No, it's fine. I was just going to stretch my legs.
Oh, Rook. Watch your step out there. If you put a foot wrong, you'll fall forever. Yeah, on top of everything else, the Illuvian took us to the Fade. The place where dreams come from, so... that. Yeah.
Then I really need to look around.
Yeah, you should. And we should talk about things. Maybe find Nev. She's outside, looking around. There's a room with a table down the stairs. I'll meet you there.
Go ahead, Rook. Me, I need to sleep. See you later, kid.
yeah, technically the plan did work. Alright, what do we got for the journal? No quests. Alright, let's make story quests. Okay, yeah. Okay, then we have map and libraries, codex. Dragon Age is very... they're very extensive with their codexes and side stories and things like that. Oh, okay. My wife was saying she really appreciated the glossary, which I do think is neat. I mean, again, it's... dog farted. Anyway. It is one of those things that, like, is nice to have as a reference, but it does, like, kind of detract a little bit, because, like, the thing of the archdemon being the giant blighted dragon, it's like, that's cool, but you had, you know, when you played Origins, like, you had to get up to the giant blighted dragon to find out that's what the archdemon was. So, again, it's kind of a split, but, I mean, that's also the argument of this is game number 4 in the series, so while it's not the best of starting places, it also kind of is because it has all the better like quality of life things and we're good. You can address everybody else. Cool. Yeah, it has better like quality of life stuff and just kind of the experience of everything else that, all the lessons that were learned from the other games, but at the same time you now have I've never been a huge fan of the like achievements for doing just generic stuff that we're probably going to do anyway. Like, I've never been a huge fan of those. Like, I get it, but it just seems a little meh. Yeah, so, and I mean, like, that's what I'm saying earlier from how, like, little tooltips that pop up, like, Harding got hurt because we brought her with. Like, that's cool to know as, like, a story thing, and that that kind of offhand, but I mean, at the same time, you can kind of look at her and see, like, yeah, she got messed up, and she was with us. Like, you kind of infer that. It kind of gives it honestly kind of gives, like, the Netflix thing of how they have, like, the little, like, pseudo genres of TV shows and movies that you can kind of watch without actually watching. Like, it's just kind of background noise. Like, you just kind of mindlessly play around or whatever, and, like, you pay attention to things that pop up, like, oh, that's what's happening. And I don't know, it's nothing that, like, any one person or any one company is doing, but it just kind of feels like detracting from the actual role-playing and story of games. Like, it just feels like we're kind of walking back on a lot of stuff, and maybe that's just me from watching other people playing games. I've been watching another streamer, Josh Strife Hayes, playing Daggerfall, and seeing the amount of story and how much, like, you have to follow along. Like, they don't have specific, well, okay, they have some quest lines, but, like, you have to read where to go, you have to figure out what's going on, like, you have to do the work to play the game. And, games don't need to be work, but for certain story games, it makes sense for them to be. You have to put a little bit of effort into it. Like, it seems like a lot of things are kind of devolving into, like, the AFK and, like, auto-clicker kind of games where it's just like you hit a button and the thing happens, but at that point, like, you're watching a movie. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just seems almost like a waste to kind of split the medium like that. Alright, what do we got around here? Enough of that rant.